Just my eyes.
Egypt has rich mythology, the Paul hieroglyph. Sarah will decipher, together they will riff. The god king Osiris' fatherhood, at noon Robert High, like only he could. The fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Stood. Dun, 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 dun. Stood.
Oh, I now get what song you're doing. Okay, great. Hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, her, Sarah Oliver, and, for the first time in a very long while...
I thought you were going to save that, but you're going to do it right now?
I'm going to do it right now. Yeah.
Shit.
We are also joined by my dad, Bob Bianchi.
There he is!
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
We're here. You already know how we are.
I do know how you are. I can see you. There you are with those smiling Irish eyes of yours. I love them.
Lassie.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. My dad is in town. He is visiting Southern California, and
We just so happen to be there.
we just so happen to be here. Dad, I don't know if you know this, but Sarah and I occasionally will make videos of us trying out candy, and we will post them on social media with our review.
Really? So, like if someone threw a Charleston chew at you, that might be what you would try?
Yeah, usually if a stranger throws candy at us at the street, we try it immediately.
Well,
Yeah, usually we get into their vehicle. We start
you raised
recording.
me well. But I was at Michael's the other day, a frequent hotspot of mine.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I saw this candy, and it is sour box of boogers.
Ew!
And I sort of thought that we could all try it right now, and I'm sure that people will be able to. Jake is taking a picture of it right now. It is. And there's 3 booger flavors.
No, oh my God, Paul! This is one of my words that I hate.
There's snottermelon,
Oh
sour green boogie,
no!
and slime apple. Slime apple is the least punny.
To me, booger. Oh, the word booger is like what it is. The word moist is to some people. I don't get that because.
I mean, a whole bunch of people just cringed in their car or wherever. They're
Fine,
listening to
I hate. Like when I was a kid, I asked my parents to call them something else
you found a euphemism?
for boogers. I
Yeah.
hate that word.
You keep
I
saying
hate-
it though.
I know, I hate it.
What did they say instead?
I don't remember, but it's just this is traumatizing for me. And so help me God, if it's really like snotty in texture, I might throw up on.
No, now that I've opened them, they look
Kind of Sour Patchy Kid, huh?
Yeah, they sort of just look like a Sour Patch Kid. So grab a booger. Sorry, grab it.
Do you think the flavor is matching the color?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, I'm going with-
How about a Woogie?
a Woogie?
Yeah, is that better? Okay, yeah, Sour Patch.
Jake, would you like one
in
as well?
Texture.
No.
Oh,
Okay. And here we go. Away we go.
down the hatch,
Uh-huh.
out the snatch.
Basically a Sour Patch Kid.
Thank God.
Yeah. Very sour though. My dad's making a face. His
Well-
lips have turned inward.
Well, actually, my throat glands have now cringed back further.
Oh, Sarah wants more.
Well, yeah. Hand me some candy. What? Okay, but we didn't see what they look like, and I think there's supposed to be some clustering of nonsense. Is the visual aspect?
Some people don't like the word cluster either.
No, really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's gross.
No, it's not.
Well, we'll talk to my sister about it one day. My sister is some people. So aside from that's docket item number 1. Docket item number 2 is I recently got a Twitter comment that said,
Is it shaming you?
it is shaming me.
Yay!
It is at Weirwood522 said, I've been binging Misunderstood the past week and didn't know why people gave the Paul Bianchi shit over pronunciation when these names are all interpreted by different groups of people. True. Then I heard him say tote, and I think I get it. Love the podcast. LOL.
See,
and-
all you need is we all need a reason to shit on you, and you got there.
Yeah, and similarly, when I was first learning about Egyptian gods as a kid, I learned it pronounced Thoth, and I also heard it pronounced Thoth, like my dad's friend Steve, whose last name is Thoth. And but then I consulted with other people having this discussion online, and the consensus seemed to be that it should be Tote. So
Totes my goats.
apologize if you want to make today's episode into a drinking game and take a shot every time I say tote. Please don't be driving on your way to work. When you do this.
Which is a good thing because most people say they listen to this at work. So I suggest.
Oh yeah, actually make the day go by better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wait, but before we dive in, we know Daddy Bianchi's background with Greek mythology. We
Yes.
know that this is where you came to love Greek mythology as he told you bedtime stories.
Mhm.
And I'd like to know what your background is with Egyptian mythology. How familiar are you?
Oh, let's put it on a very low scale. I know very little about Egyptian mythology.
So you're just like, yeah, Cleopatra and Isis. I get it.
I suppose so. Yeah, that would be my first two people because that's how we would connect those folks together.
Mhm.
But let's just say I don't know anything. After I picked up Paul in the basket in the rushes off the Nile, I had to devote myself to other things besides
That's right.
Egyptology.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had to rule a kingdom.
It was a busy time. Yeah. What with the frogs coming down from the sky? Geez, that was a mess, huh? Mm.
I hope we get to that.
Um,
Because, I mean, if they reign in one story, they got to reign in more.
that's true.
know?
Yeah, we'll see if they reign in this one.
Ooh.
So yeah, today's is actually a bit of a long one. It is about the Book of Thoth, which is why aforementioned drinking game is very possible, because I think I'll be saying that word that causes cringes to several times in the story.
Oh, what a theme we have.
What a theme. So yes, without further ado, this is the story. This is the Book of Thoth. Today's myth begins with Ramses the Great's son, Setna. And if you listened before to the story of, say, Osiris the wizard boy, Setna is the creepy wizard boy's dad. And so Setna himself was well-versed in ancient writings, and he himself was a magician of note. It is said that while other princes spent their days hunting or leading their father's armies to guard distant parts of the empire, Setna was never so happy as when he was left alone to study.
I've never heard of any princes doing anything other than sitting so far in any of these stories.
Well, I mean, they no myths are written about those guys. This is
They're just sitting.
yeah. Ancient Egyptians really loved nerdy magicians.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, as he was reading his ancient books, he came upon the story of another pharaoh's son from several hundred years earlier, who was also a great scribe and magician. And the name of this kid was Neferkepta. And that is spelled, for those keeping score at home, this is Neferkeptah. Neferkepta. And he was so wise because he had read the Book of Thoth, a book of such great wisdom that when a man reads it, he can enchant both heaven and earth and know the language of the birds and the beasts.
The birds and the bees.
Beasts.
Oh.
He
he just
knows-
read an anatomy book.
He knows the language of lovemaking.
I know where the clitoris is.
I mean, that is quite wise for back then.
It's wise for now.
So when Setna read further that the Book of Thoth had been buried with Neferkepta in his royal tomb at Memphis,
Oh, it's going to get creepy.
nothing would content him until he found it and learned of all of its wisdom. So that's our call to action. It's Indiana Jones. He is going after this book. So he goes to his brother.
His brother, mother.
Well,
They're all pretty inbred.
haven't gotten there yet, but you might be delighted to discover there is incest in this story.
A reveal from the cloak.
So yeah, he goes to his brother Enheru, and he says to him, very dramatically, help me to find this ancient book that holds all wisdom, for without it, life no longer has any meaning for me.
Oh God, he's going through his emo phase.
And to which Enheru replies,
I'm kind of busy right now. I got the skateboard here that I've just invented, and it's got to go down the ramp.
put away that skateboard, Enheru. You have to help me. You're my younger brother.
I really hate it when you interrupt my work.
Well, Enheru does not say any of that. He says, sure, and I'll protect you when shit inevitably goes wrong. That's sort of the role that he plays. He's protective, muscly younger brother to nerdy scribe brother, Setna. So the two brothers set out for Memphis. It wasn't hard for them to find the tomb of Neferkepta, who was the son of Amenhotep. And when they make their way to his tomb, they get to the central chamber where Neferkepta is laid to rest, and they find the body of the prince wrapped in linen bands, and beside it on a stone sarcophagus sat two ghostly figures, the Kas, as the Egyptians called them, of a beautiful young woman and a boy.
A cause is a spirit?
A Ka.
A Ka.
The Ka.
Okay.
And between them, on the dead breast of Neferkepta, lay the Book of Thoth. Setna bowed reverently to the two Kas, and he said,
Kaka.
Kaka. And his brother took that as a cue word to leap into action. No, he said, may Osiris have you in his keeping, dead son of Pharaoh, Neferkepta, the great scribe, and you also, whoever you are, those Kas who sit here beside them. Know that I am Setna, the priest of Ptah, son of Ramses, the greatest pharaoh of all, and I have come for the book which is yours from your days on earth. I beg of you to let me keep it in peace, for if not, I have the power to take it anyway by force of magic.
Magic? You by force of just, you're alive. You have movement.
Yeah, and a prince.
Yeah.
Then the Ka of the woman spoke and was like, geez, don't get surly. You don't want this book. It'll only bring you trouble. Also, hi, I'm Ahura, and this is my son Merab, Rude. We stand here dwelling with my husband and father, who we love so dearly, cursed beyond death. So listen to my tale and beware. Hope you like a myth within a myth. Because they do this so much, Dad. I don't know how much of the Egyptian episodes that you listen to, but Egyptians love a myth within a myth.
Really, it's a layering.
It's a Egyptception. So Ahura begins to tell.
So she's the wife of the dead dude.
Okay,
gotcha.
And spoiler alert, sister.
I want my incest at the end as a surprise. You know this.
So she says, she begins with it. She says, Neferkepta and I were the children of Pharaoh Amenhotep, and according to custom, we became husband and wife, and this son, Merab, was born to us. Neferkepta cared above all things for the study of magic and wisdom of the ancients. So, I was second fiddle to that. One day, as he was studying what is carved on the walls of the most ancient shrines of the gods, he heard a priest laugh mockingly at him and say,
Ha!
Pretty much. All that you read there is but worthless. I could tell you where lies the... Ahura does voices, too.
Yeah.
I could tell you where lies the book of which the god of wisdom wrote with his own hand. And when you read its first page, you'll be able to enchant the heaven and the earth, the abyss, the mountains, and the sea. And you'll know what the birds and the beasts and the reptiles are always talking about. It's really interesting shit. And when you read the second page, your eyes will behold the secrets of the gods themselves and read all that is hidden in the stars.
Wait, so he's making fun of him for it and then he's endorsing it?
Yeah, he's basically saying, I don't know what you're doing spending all this time reading the stuff that's written on these walls. If you really want to be wise, you got to get this book.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So he's a salesman.
And then my husband said, by life of the Pharaoh, tell me what you would have me do for it.
Just 3 easy payments, $19.99.
And the priest answered, if you would learn where it lies, you must first give me 100 bars of silver.
Oh, okay, I'm not wrong. This
three-
guy's a fucking traveling encyclopedia salesman.
and issue orders that when I die, my body shall be buried like that of a great king. So Neferkepta, being the prince, was able to grant this. And so when he received the bars of silver, he said, the Book of Thoth lies beneath the middle. This is the priest's voice. The Book of Thoth lies beneath the middle of the Nile at Coptos.
More annoying.
In an iron
There you
box. In the iron box, it's a really annoying thing that he's saying. In the iron box is a box of bronze. In the bronze box is a sycamore box. And in the sycamore box is an ivory and ebony box. And in the ivory and ebony box is a silver box. And in the silver box there is a golden box. And in that box lies the book that you're seeking for.
So Egyptians invented the Russian nesting doll.
What it does remind me of is that my friend Katie in high school used to delight in giving presents to people that were wrapped several times in duct tape, a box within a box within a box.
Yeah.
She couldn't get enough of it. And similarly,
What a thing to do more than once.
Similarly, all around the iron box are twisted snakes and scorpions, and guarded by a serpent who cannot be slain, just like Katie. So Neferkepta then came home from the shrine and told me all that he has learned. But I feared lest evil should come of it. And I said to him, do not go to Coptos and seek this book, for I know that it'll bring great sorrow to you and those you love. Please, if you love me, your sister wife, do this for me. But he was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he went to the Pharaoh, our royal father, and told him what he had learned of the priest. And Pharaoh Ramses had this to say. Whatever you feel like he said, Dad.
Well, he was quite impressed by the whole thing when it came upon him and said, you must go and seek this. It is your destiny. It will bring you greatness, as well as one little twinge of sorrow.
Ooh.
A little twinge of sorrow. So, yeah, that wasn't enough to make Neferkepta say no thanks. He gets the Pharaoh to lend the royal boat, and I'm back in the voice of Ahura, made me and Merab come with him on this fool's errand. I was so pissed.
Oh, family trip.
But it was a nice trip. And when we got to Coptos, the priests and priestesses of Isis came to welcome us and led us up to the temple of Isis and Horus. Neferkepta made a great sacrifice of an ox, a goose.
Her son did that?
And some wine. No, her brother husband.
Her brother husband. Gotcha.
Yeah. And we feasted with the priests and their wives in this gorgeous house looking out upon the river. Just gorgeous.
So nice Airbnb.
Uh-huh. But on the morning of the 5th day, leaving me and our son Merab to watch from the window of the house, Neferkepta goes down to the river and made a great enchantment.
Made a great what?
Enchantment. So first, he created through magic a magical cabin that was full of men and tackle. And he cast a spell on it,
Huh?
giving life and breath to the men, and then sank the cabin into the river.
Wait, what? Oh. All right. I get why he gets on her nerves.
Then he filled the royal boat with sand and put it out onto the Nile
How are we getting home?
until he came to a place which below the magic cabin laid. And he spoke words of power and cried, "Workmen, workmen, work for me, even where lies the Book of Thoth."
Catchy.
And
Right on the rhyme.
they I mean, it probably rhymed in the ancient Egyptian.
Oh.
And they toiled without ceasing by day and night. And on the 3rd day, they reached a place where the book lay. So I guess the cabin has air within it. Or the men can breathe water. We don't know.
It's like the bell thing, right?
The bell thing.
Yeah, when you drop a bell
Mm-hmm.
into the water, you can go under and dive in it.
Yes.
The bell cabin.
The bell cabin. Yeah.
Google it.
Then Neferkepta cast out the sand, and they raised the book on it until it stood upon the shoal above level of the river. So they basically kept dumping sand into the river until they created an island.
Sand from where?
That was brought onto the boat.
Okay.
So they're basically like if you've seen the coast of Dubai where they've like dug up all of those
all the landfill cities.
all the
that they've
landfill
made.
cities,
Yeah.
that they've made out of coral reefs.
Mhm.
That is actually really sad. It's that. So they bring the iron box up, and they find it exactly as described. It was covered in snakes and scorpions,
Oh,
and
underwater?
oh yeah,
Oh,
magical
yeah.
snakes and scorpions,
Uh-uh.
and also the one snake that could not die. So, and the scorpions and snakes are sort of spilling out all over the place. And Neferkepta cried out to the snakes and the scorpions.
Knock it off!
And yes, those words of magic made them become still, so that not one of them could move, and they could not harm anyone. That's the level of magic that he had.
Whoa.
So Neferkepta walks through them among the snakes and scorpions unharmed until he came to where the serpent that could not die lay curled around the box of iron. And this serpent rears itself up for battle, since no charm could work on it. And Neferkepta drew his sword, rushing upon it, smote off his head in a single blow. But at once the head and the body sprang back together,
Oh.
bang, and the serpent that could not die was whole again and ready for fray. Once more, Neferkepta smote off his head, and this time picked it up and cast it far away into the river that skipped it across the surface.
3 skips, I hope.
Yeah. But once again, the head returned to the body and was joined to the neck. The serpent could not die, was ready next for battle. How do you think that he solves this problem?
Does he stick the sword in up where, like, you know how it gets stuck in your mouth like a toothpick, so you can't chomp down?
That's an excellent guess, Dad.
I think that he changed the sword into another snake, and that snake ate the snake that couldn't die.
You know, both of these are, I think, better and less stupid than the real thing. So once more, he strikes off the snake's head. But before the head and body could come together, he put sand on each wound so that when they came back together, they could not rejoin because there was sand between them. I don't think that's enough.
No.
I don't buy it.
I think my body's full of sand.
I
I feel like one giant sandbag sometimes.
I've always thought that about you.
Yeah.
So then Neferkepta went to the iron box that lay on the shoal of the river, and while the snakes and scorpions watched him, I love that detail.
Their little claws under their little scorpion chins.
Yeah, and the head of the serpent that could not die watched him also. But
What else are you going to do?
but none could harm him. He opened the iron box and found it in a bronze box. He opened the bronze box and found in it sycamore wood. You get the deal. And he finally gets
Keep going.
I like the ebony and ivory one.
Oh yeah, he finds the ebony and ivory box, and it's accompanied by
Together in harmony.
the song. Yeah, the song sings as he gets to that box.
Mm-hmm.
In that box, he finds the box of silver, and the last one, the box of gold. And when he opens that golden box, he finds
Does he like
the Book of
squeal
Wisdom.
each time he opens the box? Oh!
just as was described. He opens the book and he reads the first page, and at once he has the power over the heavens and the earth, the abyss and the mountains of the sea. He knew what the birds and the beasts and the fishes were saying. He could
I know where the clitoris is.
he could hear all of these snakes and scorpions murmuring and like understand them. Like,
Oh.
look at this guy.
Ooh,
This
he's
fucking
really
bitch.
sharp.
Look at this stupid bitch.
Yeah, that's probably the headless snake. Look at this stupid bitch. He read the next page of spells and saw the sun shining in the sky, the moon and the stars, and knew their secrets. He also saw the gods themselves, who are hidden from mortal sight. So if you got to think that, like, you know, there's the gods of the heavens and the earth. He can look up now at the sky and see them instead of just what everyone else sees. So when he sees the moon, he sees the eye of Horus now.
Oh.
Then, rejoicing that the priest's words were true and the Book of Thoth was his, he cast a spell on the magic men, saying, "Workmen, workmen, work for me and take me back from the place where I came." Yeah. And they brought him back to Coptos, where I sat waiting for him. But I did not rejoice. Oh no, I was too anxious. Something awful would happen. This is her way of saying she knew all
Oh,
along.
that was
Yeah.
the
A woman's
sister. The sister
intuition.
wife just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she's been telling this whole story.
Understood, but she's great at voices. So I was like,
Just because he knew where the clit was doesn't mean he knows what to do with it.
And when Neferkepta came to me, he held out the book in his hands, and I too learned of the wisdom. And I started hearing like this fish outside telling a joke to his friends in the river, and he was bombing. not a funny fish. So then Neferkepta took a clean piece of papyrus and wrote on it all the spells from the book, and he took a cup of beer and washed off the words into it and drank it so that the knowledge of the spells entered his being. I don't know. I don't get it either. I'm not a magician. Don't ask me.
I like that though, that he's keeping the book of spells from other people because he has now ingested them all.
Well, then how is there anything in the book that this other turd finds? If this guy drank it all up.
Did we just call the prince the other turd?
Yeah.
I'm just checking that I got my notes here, and I'm thinking other turd. And in Egyptian, that would be tur.
Tur. Yeah.
The D would be silent, I
Yeah.
guess. All right, just checking.
But she's quick to point out, I who cannot write did not remember all that was written in the Book of Thoth for this because women aren't taught.
Why would she need to?
She
Another way to complain?
Yes. But as we entered the royal boat and set sail back for Memphis, but scarcely had we begun to move when a sudden power seemed to seize our little boy Merib, so that he was drawn into the river and sank out of sight.
Oh.
Seizing the Book of Thoth, my husband read from it the necessary spell, and all at once the body of Merab rose to the surface of the river, and we lifted his body on board. But no magic in the book, no magician in Egypt could bring Merab back to life.
Wait, he died that quick?
Oh, yeah. And she says this very emotionlessly. Nonetheless, Neferkepta was able to make his Ka speak to us and tell us what caused his death. So the Ka of Merab. And
this is the twinge of sorrow I was talking about.
Said Ramses. And the Ka of Merab said,
just a twinge.
Thoth, the great god, found that his book has been taken, and he hastened before Amun-Ra, saying, Neferkepta, son of Pharaoh Amenhotep, has found the magic box, slain its guard, and taken my book and all the magic that's in it. And he said to him, deal with Neferkepta, send out my power to work sorrow and bring punishment upon him and upon his wife and child. And that power from Ra, passing through the will of Thoth, drew me into the river and drowned me. The end. And then we made great lamentation, for our hearts were broken at the death of our son. And we put back to shore at Coptos, and there his body was embalmed and laid in a tomb as befitted him. When the rites of the burial and the lamentation of the dead had ended, Neferkepta said to me, all right, now let us sail with all haste down to Memphis and tell our father the Pharaoh what has chanced, for his heart will be heavy at the death of our son, yet he will rejoice that we have this book. And I was like, I don't think he cares about the book. I think only you care about the book.
Yeah.
So we set sail once more on the royal boat, and when it came to a place where Merib has fallen into the river, the power of Ra came upon me, and I walked out of the cabin and fell into the river and drowned.
Oh, jeepers.
Oh, man.
And when Neferkepta, by his magic arts, had raised my body out of the river, my Ka told him all that had happened, and he turned back to Coptos again and had my body embalmed and laid in a tomb beside Merib.
This is taking a while to get back home.
Oh,
yeah, you got to keep filling all your loved ones with fluids and
taking out their useless brains.
yeah.
Then he set out once more in bitter sorrow for Memphis.
I just gotta tell my dad about this book.
I know, but that was the sweetest little giggle when Paul said, take out their brain.
Oh, yeah. Useless. And when it reached that city and the Pharaoh came aboard the royal boat, he found Neferkepta, his own son, lying dead in the cabin with the Book of Thoth bound upon his breast.
Wait, what? The one that was just... No.
So the wife is dead, the son is dead, and Neferkepta was found by Pharaoh Ramses.
Oh, by his
when
daddy.
the boat came to back to Memphis.
Oh.
So there was mourning throughout all the land of Egypt, and Neferkepta was buried with all rights and honors I don't know why he got honors, but due to the son of the pharaoh in the tomb where he now lies, and where my Ka and the Ka of Merab now watch over him.
You have such disdain for this Nepakata.
No, she says she still loves him. And now
No, you, Paul.
Oh.
You editorialized. You said, I don't know why he was buried with honors.
Oh, well, yeah, because he led his family to doom.
In the search of a book.
Okay.
It's worthy.
And now I have told you all the woe has befallen us, and because we took and read the Book of Thoth, the book which you ask us to give up, it is not yours, you have no right to claim it, and indeed, for the sake of it, we gave up our lives on earth. And when Setna had listened to this tale told by the Ka of Ahura, he was filled with awe, but nevertheless,
Cool story, bro.
the desire to have the book was so strong upon him that he said, okay, yeah, whatever, give me the book, or I'll take it by force. And then the Kas of Ahura and Merab drew away in fear of Setna the great magician, because they felt like he could basically fuck with their Kas and make them have even a more
Cause
tormentful
and effect.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the title of this episode.
It could be, yeah. Not committing to it yet, but it could be.
You'll see. You'll see.
But the Ka of Neferkepta rose from his body and stepped towards him, and he said, Setna, bruh, are you serious? After hearing all this tale that Ahura, my wife, has told you, you'll take no warning, then this book must be yours. But first you must win it from me. If your skill is great enough, play a game of drafts with me. A game of 52 points.
What?
Dare
is this
you do
like
this?
Horse? What is this?
Drafts. No, drafts is like an old-fashioned game of checkers.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, like the Egyptians invented checkers, it seems.
Oh, wait, 52 rounds of checkers?
Yeah.
I'm automatically like, you win, bro.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this.
But Setna said, oh, I'm ready to play. So the board was set between them, and the game began.
The Pharaoh's Gambit?
Yes, and the Neferkepta won the first game from Setna and put a spell upon him so that he sank into the ground above his ankles. And when he won the second game, Setna sank to his waist into the ground.
Okay, so he's not going 52 rounds either.
No, I think that the points are maybe like every time you king your checker piece. I don't know how drafts is played, but I'm just assuming there's more points to be accumulated in one game than just one.
Okay.
Once more they played, and when Neferkepta won, Setna sank to the ground until only his head was visible. And at that time, he's like, oh yeah, and Heru, brother, who's waiting in the shadows, Kaka. Make haste, run to the pharaoh, and beg of him the great amulet of Ptah, for by it only that's the only way I can be saved. If you set it upon my head before the last game is played and lost.
Wait, the current pharaoh or his dead daddy pharaoh?
The current pharaoh.
But that's the guy playing against him's dad. Why is he going to help this other dead guy?
No, the current pharaoh is Ramses. The guy he's playing against, Neferkepta, his dad was Amenhotep, who's long dead.
Oh.
But he's sending his brother back to go to Ramses to get the amulet of the Secaucus family.
So it's not the ghost that's sinking, it's the human.
It's the human.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Never
But
mind.
it's the amulet of what?
Ptah.
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 I need the amulet of Ptah.
Ptah. So Anhero sped down the steep road on his motorbike from
Skateboard.
Skateboard,
Oh yeah, his
thank
skateboard.
you.
There you go. Bring
Thank
it back.
you.
Thank you. Where the pharaoh sat at his palace in Memphis, and when he heard the skateboard rolling up into the palace, he was like, "What is that delightful noise?" Yeah, it was before they invented. It was square wheels. Clickety, clickety, clickety.
But amazingly, Egypt's already built for like skate ramps. Like imagine going down those pyramids.
I mean, they're not smooth.
It's pretty cool.
So when he heard all that Anhero had to say, he quickened to the temple of Ptah, took the great amulet from its place in the sanctuary, gave it to Anhero, and said, "Go with all speed, my son, on that wonderful skateboard of yours. Rescue your brother Setna from this evil contest with the dead."
Got
And
it,
I'm going to go
Pops.
sit down because that's all I've ever heard pharaohs do. They sit down.
Hmm. Well, yeah, they also have long boat voyages with maidens who have never rowed a boat before.
I don't believe they're standing during that.
No, they sure aren't. Okay, so back to the tomb sped Anheru down through the passages of the tomb chamber where the Ka of Neferkepta still played drafts with Setna. And as he entered, Setna made his last move, and Neferkepta reached out with his hand to cry in triumph of the final move that would win the game. But before Neferkepta could even move that last piece, Anheru leapt forward and placed the amulet of Ptah on Setna's head. And just as it touched his head, Setna sprang from the ground, snatched the Book of Thoth from Neferkepta's body, and fled with Anheru from the tomb.
So he lied and he cheated.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And as they left the tomb, they heard the voice of Ahura say, "Oh no, all the power is gone from him who lies in this tomb. Oh no." But Neferkepta said, "Be not sad." She's like, "I'm not." And he said, "I will make Setna bring back the Book of Thoth and come as a suppliant to my tomb with a forked stick in his hand and a fire pan on his head."
What? Why? You're dead and you still talk so much shit.
Well, that's what they want him to have is a forked stick in his hand and a fire pan on his head.
A fire pan?
Fire pan.
Like a frying pan?
No, like a pan in which you would burn offerings to people who are greater than you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they often when they go to temples are carrying this fork stick that's
Marshmallows.
for like basically poking the fire that they are using to sacrifice things to the gods, and they would wear the fire pan on their head as part of their like journey.
Okay.
So yeah. Then as Setna and Heru were outside, the tomb closed behind them, and it seemed that it had never before opened. He returned to the pharaoh, and Pharaoh Ramses was pleased to see this Book of Thoth in his hands, and he said, "You're playing Pharaoh Ramses. That's you."
Yes, I know. I was thinking about the tomb closing up in a way that I hadn't quite ever imagined before. So you have come back, my little son, and you have bring a Book of Thoth with you. I'm so pleased with you. Have you had your twinge of sorrow yet?
No, Dad, I haven't yet had a twinge of sorrow.
Who's the young woman by your side, though? She looks like she's packing sorrow.
It's me, the younger brother. God, I just haven't had a haircut in a minute.
Oops, sorry. Anyway, glad you're back and glad you're all alive. I can't wait to thumb through the book.
Well,
Keep your thumbs to yourself.
yeah, keep your thumbs to yourself, Dad. You won't understand.
Dad, don't touch it. You don't get it. Okay, boomer.
Ramses did advise to him that he's like, it seems like if Neferkepta said, or Ahura said that this book would bring sorrow and evil upon you, it probably will. So be mindful of that. And Setna said, nope, I don't care. He goes back to his room, slams the door, all of his posters on the wall.
All huffy.
Fly.
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
And he spent his time reading the Book of Thoth and studying all the spells that were contained within it. And often he would carry it to the Temple of Ptah and read from it to those who sought his wisdom. So he felt like hot shit with this. One day, as he sat in the temple, he saw a maiden more beautiful than any he had ever seen. And as we know about mythology, watch out, beautiful women are evil.
Oh, yeah.
She entered the temple with 52 girls in attendance on her. Setna,
Me and my squad.
Is there anything with that number since 52 is now repeated?
I don't know. He's like, hey, I see 52 girls and I want to pick them up.
Oh, he wants to have all of them.
No, that was just a pun on.
It's a 52 pickup joke.
Never mind.
52 pickup. Oh, it's a card thing?
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to throw the cards at someone's face, right?
Yeah, want to play 52 pickup, and then you throw the cards on the ground.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Cruel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Setna gazed fascinated at this lovely creature in her golden girdle and headdress of gold and colored jewels. And and as she knelt to give her offerings to the statue of Ptah, And he soon learned that she had the most beautiful name, Tabubua. And she was the daughter of the high priest of the cat goddess Bastet from the city of Bubastis to the north of Memphis. And Bastet was also the bride of the god Ptah. So as soon as Setna beheld Tabubua,
Oh my god, it's so cute. It's just like a little sweet 3-year-old speech impediment.
he forgot all else. He forgot even the Book of Thoth. He desired only to win her.
Wait, he held her?
He held her?
Did you say as soon as he held her?
As soon as he beheld her. Like he looked
Oh,
at
just
her.
saw her. Okay.
Yeah. And it did not seem as if his suit would be in vain, because he sent him as soon as he sent a message to her, she replied back via message. Like you can just
She
imagine
circled
these
Y, yeah.
these servants running back and
Oh,
forth.
servants go betweens. Boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop,
and
boop.
and it was, do you like me, Y or N? And she circled Y.
Yeah.
She replied that if he wished to seek her, as he was free to do, he had to come to her palace in the desert outside of Bubastis. Setna made his way and found a pylon tower with a great garden with a high wall around it. There, Tabubua welcomed him with sweet words and looks. And what are these sweet words, Sarah?
I made Pop-Tarts.
That's the sweetest word I've ever heard. She led him to her chamber in the pylon and served him wine in a golden
And
cup.
Pop-Tarts.
And Pop-Tarts. And when he spoke to her of his love, she answered, "Be joyful, my sweet lord, for I am destined to be your bride. But remember, I am no common woman, but a child of Bastet, and I cannot endure a rival. So before we are wed, write me a scroll of divorcement against your present wife."
Wait, what? He's married?
Oh, yeah. And write also that you give your children to me to be slain and thrown down to the cats of Bastet,
Oh.
like to be eaten alive by cats. For I cannot endure that they shall live and perhaps plot evil against the children that we shall have.
Well, I don't know why you asked me to say sweet words when she says such sweet words herself.
Yeah. And Setna cries immediately, "Be it as you wish."
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he straight away put down his Pop-Tart, took his brush, and wrote that Tabubua might cast out his wife to starve.
Fuck her, fuck them.
Yeah, which is beyond what she asked, by the way. She just said write papers of divorcement. He's like, no, you can cast out that bitch to starve.
To starve?
Yeah. And yeah, you're free to slay my children and feed them to the sacred cats of Bastet. And as soon as he had done
So
this,
he's not a hero of this story.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And when he had done this, she handed him a cup once more and stood before him in all of her loveliness, singing a bridal hymn. Let's hear it.
We shall be wed, my cats will be fed, your wife will never be fed again.
And accompanying this tune, very quickly, terrible cries come floating up from the high window of the pylon, the dying cries of his children, one by one being murdered by cats.
Yay, yay, yay. Thank you. Best day ever. Best first date ever.
He recognized each of their voices as they called to him specifically in agony, and then was still. If this is starting to sound like a dream to you, you are correct.
Oh, no. Nothing. I never think anything is a dream.
Setna didn't care that his children were dying and turned to Tabubua and said, "My wife is a beggar, and all my children lie dead at the pylon foot. I have nothing in the world left but you, but that's okay. I'd give them all again for you.
Because you're cute.
Come to me, my love." And Tabubua starts to shimmy towards him with outstretched arms, more lovely and desirable than Hathor herself. And with a great cry of ecstasy, Setna caught her in his arms, and as he did so, she suddenly changed and faded until his arms held a hideous, withered corpse.
Aww. The end.
The end. Setna cried aloud in terror, and as he did so, the darkness swirled around him, and the pylon seemed to crumble away. And when he regained his senses, he found himself lying naked in the desert beside the road that led from Bubastis to Memphis. So it was all a dream. I don't know why he gets this warning, and yet the previous family got zero warning. They just drowned in the river.
Yeah, and also in this warning, he loses everything. Like, he doesn't choose any of the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he's been taught is, like, she might be ugly. He didn't regret, like, oh no, my children, now that I hear their screams. Oh no, my poor former wife.
No, yeah,
He's just
he
like,
has no
oh
regrets.
no, she's not as cute.
No, he wakes up and he says, "Oh, what a rude dream! I thought I was going to lose my wife and children and be married to this beautiful woman."
Yeah, right?
He returns to his father and tells his father of this terrible dream.
I told you there would be consequences.
A twinge.
A twinge of sorrow has come upon you, and once again you do not learn. You have never learned. You have continued to confound me and all my ministers. You see it?
We don't get it. We don't get it, man.
And therefore, Ramses added, you should go back to this tomb as a suppliant, carrying a fork and stick in your hand and a fire pan on your head. That
Seems simple.
Seems reasonable to you.
Here's your fire pan.
Mhm.
Here's your fork stick.
You
Go.
just had those, Dad?
Here's the little red nose.
I have a whole little collection of these. My father bequeathed them to me as well when I was just a young lad.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, you keep them in the china cabinet over there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The good China.
so Setna did as the pharaoh advised, and he went to this tomb and he spoke the spell, and he went to the tomb chamber and found Neferkepta laying in his sarcophagus, where the cause of Ahura and Merab were sitting with each other by his side, with this pan on his head and the fork in his hands.
So attractive.
Yeah, and Neferkepta rose from the body and laughed, saying, "Ha ha! I told you that you would return as a supplement. Bring back the Book of Thoth, and place it back upon my body as where it has laid for many years. But do not think you are yet free of my vengeance unless you perform what I bid you. The dream of Tabubua will be turned into a reality." Which, makes Setna smile and then frown and then smile and then frown, because he's like, wait, all of it? Like, do I get to be with this beautiful woman, or will she turn into a corpse? I want to know the whole thing.
Confused boner.
Confused boner. The thing that Neferkepta asks of him is to go to the tomb of Koptos and bring me back the bodies of my wife and child, because they should be united with me here at this temple. And on his way to Koptos, he discovers that these bodies have been lost. He doesn't know where he can find them. And when he's in great despair,
Must have flown United.
he offers a great reward to any who can help him. And very quickly, a very, very old man comes tottering up to the temple and says,
Looking for some bodies.
basically, yeah, he knows where Ahura and Merab were laid buried, and they happen to be in the ground in a tomb where a house was built atop of them. And he says,
You ever seen the movie Poltergeist?
Setna says, "No, I have not." And he says, "You're missing out." And he says, "You must pull down this house and dig beneath it." And when Setna had brought down the house for a
Brought it down? What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. So he had to pay the people who lived in the house to buy their house from them. And then he had to pay a demolition crew to come and take down the
you
house.
really think he paid them? He just bulldozed it with the people inside. He's a horrible person.
And underneath, he found sand cut into rock, and in it lay the bodies of Ahura and Merab. And when he saw them, the old man raised his arms and cried aloud. And as he cried, he faded from sight.
Oh.
Because this old man was actually Neferkepta in disguise.
Oh.
So he took the mummies of Ahura and Merab and conveyed them with all honor, as if they had been the bodies of a great queen and prince of Egypt, which
Weren't they?
Well, princess and
Oh.
nearly. They took them down the Nile to the royal in the royal boat of Memphis, and there the pharaoh himself led a funeral procession to Saqqara, and Setna placed the bodies of Ahura and Merab beside that of Neferkepta in the secret tomb where lay the Book of Thoth. When the funeral procession had left the tomb, Setna spoke a charm, and a wall closed behind them, leaving no trace of the door. Then, by Pharaoh's command, they heaped sand over the low stone shrine where the entrance of the tomb was hidden. Before long, a sandstorm turned it into a great mound, and then leveled it out so that never again could anyone find trace of the tomb where Neferkepta lay with Ahura and Merab in the Book of Thoth.
Cave of Wonder style.
Mm-hmm. Waiting for the day of awakening when Osiris shall rule again over the earth. And that's the end of that one.
So wait, whoa. No, because what did our hero learn? All he did is fill it up with sand. What's his next move? Does he go and he's nice to his wife and kids and he appreciates what he has?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that happens. I think he did read from the book, though. Like, he was allowed to read from the book and kind of went unpunished.
So he just keeps on living as a actually guy.
So, yeah. And he gets to understand what animals and beasts are saying. So he gets that hot gossip all the time.
But he's still a sociopath.
He's still a sociopath for sure.
All
and we learned about his son, Osiris, who is also maybe,
psychopath. There's a difference between sociopath and psychopath.
But maybe that's the curse, is that he gets a creepy Victorian boy child.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And he's not born at this time, huh? Was he, or maybe he's like one of the kids that almost got eaten by a
He might have been one of the
lion.
kids who almost got eaten by, not a lion, a kitty cat.
Cats.
Oh, wait, what?
Sacred
Cats.
cats, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were going to be like lions.
Like
No.
panthers or something like that?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Tabbies.
Regular tabbies, yeah.
They don't eat you. What, are you going to get licked to death?
Yeah.
Mm.
If you, they were thrown from the tower, so they were bleeding out, and then the cats all came to eat him.
Oh.
This was also, it's ancient Egypt. How domesticated are cats yet?
Very at this point. Extremely.
But maybe they still love human blood.
Still, when have kitty cats ever had bloodlust?
Always. You own a cat. You know this.
Yeah, it's true. Her tongue. One day she's going to lick right into my wrists.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's her goal. Wow. Okay, that changes how I visualize that story. Okay, he's a bad person. What do you think, Pablo Bianchi?
Well, I want to know, does this kid who has learned no lesson, he becomes Pharaoh later on, doesn't he?
No.
He doesn't.
Mm-mm.
How come he? Well, his dad is there. Does the dad not die?
I very confidently said no right then, but I'm not sure suddenly. I think Setna is, in everything I've read, only ever referred to as the son of Ramses.
He's a priest, right?
And he's a priest and a scribe. And I'm not sure if
Maybe he's not like the oldest brother.
maybe he's not.
Oh.
And maybe he never ascends. But maybe there is a brief reign of Pharaoh Setna.
It's definitely a reign of terror.
Yeah. I mean, he mellows out in his older age. If you remember from the other myth, he's more, okay, yeah, whatever about things.
So maybe he did learn a little something, and he retained some of the knowledge out of the Book of Thoth, didn't he? Yeah.
Maybe
he knows about
he-
the birds and the beets. The beets?
The birds and the bees.
I mean,
That's right, and the carrots.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they said beasts, but I think probably he can hear vegetables speak as well.
I think so, because beets are so available in ancient Egypt.
That's all they ate.
And as we learned
Beet
from the myth of Set and all his weird shenanigans, like we know salad, lettuce in particular has a lot to say. So
That's right.
yeah,
I will say this is one of the first myths that I can recall where we've got a real anti-hero in the lead. Because usually I feel like Egyptians, they kind of got some good guys leading for the most part. Or if you don't start, you at least learn a lesson by the end.
I mean, do you remember the myth of Sinewy, where Sinewy left after conspiring to kill the king and then came back and was like, all was forgiven? So he was kind of a piece of shit
No,
too.
but at least he learned at the end, right?
No, I don't think he did.
I still think this guy's the worst.
Okay.
I don't think he's the worst, but what I really love about this, because you asked me what my takeaway is.
Yeah.
I love how layered the story is. That not only do you get a myth and a myth, which
There's
I thought
also
was
boxes within boxes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there was a
Are
symbolism.
you imagining the marketing of this story that you get a little book inside of your book and then you get little boxes inside that too? Like it's a whole set.
Yes, because at one time I had given Paul's mother the box and the box and the box, and at our first Christmas, and there was a ring inside there for Christmas, and she was so thrilled to open up. And I did it like a little door opening, and you reached in the door, and there was another box inside that had a door on it, and you could open up the door, and you reached inside, there was another box that had a door on it.
cute.
Yeah.
Is that how she got her wedding ring?
No, because this was after we were already married, but this is the ring
Okay.
for Christmas, and she
Cute.
was
But I
was
remember
so thrilled.
she was also pissed though that she had to fight all those snakes and scorpions, right?
Yeah. That was frustrating for her.
Yeah, but the bites healed after a while. It was okay. I thought it was.
Do 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 do.
Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle. Are the holidays coming up and you don't know what to get your loved one?
I got to tell you, I got a thing for you right now. It's a box and a box and a box and a box, and you're going to love it. And she's never going to find out what it is until she opens up that box.
Isn't the best part of opening up a present, opening up the present? Why stop there? Just keep opening it.
That's right. Come to Bob's Box Basement, located in Bubastis. You will find the most incredible boxes here. If you like Marie Kondo, forget Marie Kondo. These boxes go within boxes for infinity. We've got gold boxes. We've got black and white boxes that may or may not be made out of ebony and ivory. We have...
That's immoral.
Don't forget the sycamore one.
Oh, yeah. The sycamore one
One
is
of our hot movers.
is a favorite. Hand painted by my brother Fidel.
Nefertiti.
Nefertiti, that's a
Or
better
whatever,
name.
whatever the name was. Yeah,
Yeah.
We gave them all the different names.
Yeah.
It's the holidays.
Are you okay over there?
I just keep opening up these boxes. I'm having such a good time. I hope I never get to the bottom of a box. I'll fucking kill myself. Bob's Box Basement.
Beautiful. Well, Dad, it's always a pleasure to have you as a guest.
Sure is.
I hope that you felt like you learned about the way that Egyptians construct their myths and how they are similar but also different from Greek mythology.
Oh, I think they're incredibly different because how they witness power and who had power gets laden into the myths, and the fact that it isn't a lesson learned sort of arrangement. The Greek myths all tend to have this lesson learned arrangement.
Yeah, like
so you can
learn,
pull some away.
you peasant.
Yeah,
Be afraid of this.
and the fact that you can just have a story that ends up leaving your stomach a little gnarled, like, what are we going to get out of this? I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're just telling stories for fun in some cases.
Oh, I know. I think it's to keep the peasants at bay. Yeah, because we're going to find, don't start sticking your nose because there's going to be scorpions and snakes. And there's going to be one that doesn't die. So be careful.
See, I think that Greek mythology is more common man hating than Egyptian mythology, though. Because it's like, don't ever brag. You turn into a spider.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's just like some crazy shit happened, but he's a prince. I happen to a prince.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do, you common man?
Yeah, I think a lot of the myths about royalty in Egypt were about creating this legend around them that made them feel
deifying him.
Yeah, like they are not only deified but also wrapped into the happenings of the gods because they are important.
Yeah. It's like, we're not of you people.
Yeah.
We have magic.
Yeah, I was nearly punished by Bastet. My children were nearly eaten by her kitty cats.
And would you say the gorgeous woman's name again? That sounds like a lisp.
Twabwabwa.
Tabubua.
Tabubwa.
Tabubua.
Yeah,
Tabubua.
it reminded me a bit of Tituba from Arthur Miller.
Yeah. Tabubwa.
Mhm.
I think that's a cute name. Someone out there, some misfit, name your baby that's brewing in your belly now. Name it Tabubwa.
Tabubua, that is Tabubua. Someone's going to do it. It's going to happen.
Someone do it.
Tabubua. I can't even say that right.
Tabubwa.
It sounds like tapioca.
Well, that's our episode. If you enjoyed today's episode and you haven't done it already, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, let me interject here.
What?
I will say that over 2021 and 2020, I spent a lot of time not looking at reviews just because anything coming at me could feel really like overwhelming and negative, like hurt my feelings. Just usually you try not to like get that, wrapped up in like reviews or feedback or something when you're just putting shit out there. But we were in a sensitive time. And the other, like a week ago, I was like, I haven't looked at the reviews in a while. I want to see what's up. And the reviews they just gave me so much joy just to know that we are still like connecting to new audiences, connecting to new people, bringing, a reprieve from the insanity that we've been experiencing. So I just want to say thank you for the kindness that you guys put out there. And it meant a lot to look at that. And it really, really touched me. And I teared up a little. So thank you guys. Anyway, more of that. I need it. I'm a beast. Feed me.
Yeah, that's a lovely sentiment. Please follow the show on social media. You can find us at _mythunderstood. You can find me at the Paul Bianchi. You can find her at the Sarah Oliver. We also have merch on our website. You can find us on Patreon. You can find us on Discord. And all of that info and links to what was just discussed can be found at www.mythunderstoodpodcast.com.
Thank you so much for being here.
I love it.
Night.
Hey, this is Zen Zenith just sneaking in to say check out the House Show with Zen Zenith. That's me on Dragon Wagon Radio. The House Show is a live concert series featuring stripped-down performances and interviews with amazing singer-songwriters. We do the whole thing in front of a real live audience at a real live house and package the whole thing up into a podcast for you to experience in the ease of your home or car. Real intimate performances, real intimate conversations with great people. Check it out at thehouseshowshow.com or on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever else good podcasts are found. We'll see you there.
It's Dragon Wagon.